Today we will see about the functions of the DNA. DNA is a very vital genetic material which is present into all living cells, maybe plant cells, maybe animal cells or bacterial cells. Now this DNA is important for carrying out the different kinds of the genetic information, genetic characters from one generation to another, which we call as a heredity. DNA as such itself has two different kinds of the functions. The first kind is heterocatalytic function and the second one is homocatalytic function. Homocatalytic function is a function which is actually the formation of DNA itself. It directs the synthesis of the DNA from DNA template. That is what called as a homocatalytic function. In scientific language, we call it as a replication. Whereas heterocatalytic function is a function which directs the synthesis of the other compounds like mRNAs, like proteins from that of the DNA templates. Now these different kinds of the processes, replication, again transcription and translation, they are scientifically called as heterocatalytic and the homocatalytic activities. When we talk about the replication, it is a resynthesis of the DNA itself, that is what called as the homocatalytic function. When we talk about the transcription, transcription is nothing but the formation of different kinds of the RNAs from that of the DNA template, like mRNA, like tRNA, like rRNA. mRNA stands for messenger RNA, tRNA stands for the transfer RNA, and rRNA stands for the ribosomal RNA. Their synthesis takes place from the DNA, and this is what called as a heterocatalytic function. Altogether, we call it as a transcription. And when we talk about the translation, it is nothing but the synthesis of the protein molecules or direct the synthesis of the chain of the amino acids with the help of the different kinds of the function components like mRNA, like ribosomes which are present into the cell. It is called as a translation, means proteins have been formed from that of the mRNA or rRNA or tRNA. Use of all these things, by using all different kinds of these things, we basically cell synthesizes the proteins. All these three different kinds of the functions or the catalytic activities of the DNA altogether is called as a molecular central dogma of the molecular biology, which is essential for carrying out the different kinds of the metabolic activities into all the living cells, maybe the plant cells, maybe animal cells or the bacterial cells. Whole metabolism takes place with the help of these three different kinds of the catalytic functions, like replication, like basically transcription and translation. Now, what are the sites of these different kinds of the functions? The transcription and the translation which is there, it takes place outside the nucleus of the cell into the cytoplasm of the cell, maybe of a living organisms, and the replication which is there, it takes place inside the nucleus, means into the nucleoplasm of the cell. That is what actually the sites of the different functions or the different functions of the DNA. Now all these three kinds of the reactions or the catalytic activities needs enzymes, and these enzymes which are there, they are present into the nucleoplasm and the cytoplasm. Just we can take the example of the formation of the RNAs from the DNA. Okay, one very vital enzyme, RNA polymerase, is there, which will carry out synthesis of the RNAs from that of the DNA. This is what actually what you call as an enzyme involved into the formation of the RNAs. Okay, then DNA replication which is there, it has near about 7 to 8 different kinds of the enzymes which work at the different places during the replication and will execute the function of the replication of the DNA. Even in case of the translation, where the proteins have been formed from that of the DNA, there also you will find a set of enzymes are present which takes place or which takes part into the reaction at different stages and will carry out the formation of the proteins from that of the mRNAs. This is what actually what you call as the different kinds of the functions which we found, which we study into the cells of the living organisms. Thank you.